Hi, little babies. It's Dr. Matey. How you doing tonight? My latest video was on this idiotic credit card offer I got that was 30% interest, and for a $500 line of credit, you'd have to pay nearly $250 in annual fees, and it was just a bad product. Put it that way, bad. Now, I used to be a collections manager at a finance company. And finance company loans are a lot different than, you take out a loan from your credit union and your bank, you get a fixed interest, and you'll see your balance go down and interest payments lessen as time goes by. But with finance company loans, they're all precomputed loans where the bulk of the interest is paid up front. So let's say you have a $5,000 loan at, our standard interest is 28.74%. So when you have $5,000 loan over 48 months, you pay most of the interest that was charged on the loan within the first 12 or 14 months, and then you just be paying the principal down. But because of this screwy setup, you can pay the loan off early, but you still have to pay all that interest that's charged up front. So it's a pretty lucrative financial product for the lender. And, these are for, these type of loans are for people who are just married, they need furniture, you're desperate for a car, so, you borrow 5 or 10 grand to get an old clunker, but man, those payments hurt, but tell you, the majority of the customers who I worked with paid like a clock. They were good. If they fell behind a little bit, that was okay, because the late fees became pretty lucrative if somebody fell seriously delinquent, but kept paying. You could actually turn the interest rate on that loan from 28.74% to about 42%. So when they finally did get the loan paid off, you squeezed every penny you could out of them. But let me just give you an example. If you borrowed $5,000 on these rule of 78 loans, those are the pre-computed interest loans. Over 4 years, you'd be paying back double what you borrowed. So that $5,000 you borrowed had the high interest actually doubled the amount of the loan. So you'd borrow 5,000 and pay back 10,000. But they're pretty lucrative loans. They were big back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s when there weren't that many financial products or instruments that you could use to borrow money from. Now, they have credit cards, credit unions, and anybody with any decent credit, and they're not overloaded, can usually get a pretty good deal. But America right now is overloaded, over $1 trillion in credit card debt. It's pretty bad. If you go to usdebtclock.org, you can see that this country is in bad shape. Unfunded liabilities, the amount of interest accruing every second of every day. The Biden administration has borrowed almost 100, I was going to say about $1 trillion in the last 8 weeks. Just to keep their administration afloat. But, there's going to become what they call a reckoning day. You remember the game of life? They always had reckoning day, where you had to square up with all your outstanding notes and debts and loans. If you didn't have it, you ended up going bankrupt and you're out of the game. So the whole name of the game now is survival. I mean, a lot of people in desperate straits right now. I don't see how this market can keep the stock market can keep going in an upward trajectory. There's got to be a major correction. I mean, the interest rates have to come down eventually. I mean, it's election year next year. They're going to be monkeying with the interest rates, to benefit Joe Biden, the greatest president since George Washington. But it's way out of hand right now. We're out of control. We're a bunch of dead addicts. It's worse than being on OxyContin or fentanyl. You get that jammed up in your system, you get that habit of borrowing money, man. And it's a high. You gotta get that money. You gotta get that money to take care of your business. So we'll just tax the bejesus out of our citizens here and let them pay for it. We're gonna have a tax this and tax that and tax everything. If you're born, we're gonna charge you a $500 birth tax to the parents. But yeah, it's a serious situation, and I ask you to investigate yourself on how serious it is. It's bad right now. The situation's really bad. Meanwhile, I've been monitoring the silver and gold markets pretty steadily over the last 7 years. Do you know when the financial crisis hit back in March of 2020 and the stocks took a nosedive? Silver actually went down to nearly $11 an ounce. It was a solid $19, $20 an ounce, and it plummeted. But the thing was, there was no silver to be purchased. Nobody had any for sale at that price. Nobody could make any money. That's why they didn't sell it. So you don't want to get lose on your investment. You want to make money on it. But my prediction is silver's going to be hitting 35, 40 an ounce here in the next year. Gold should be pushing up towards 2,500 in the next year. But long-term outlook, 5-year outlook, I can see silver going to 50, 60 an ounce easy. It's such a versatile and utilitarian metal that they use in manufacturing of all sorts of goods, electronics and high-tech stuff. And silver is a major component. Gold is renowned for its beauty and its value. And it's also used in a lot of electronics and high-tech stuff too. So, but the Indians, the country of India, they love gold, and they use it as a means of accumulating wealth. There are very many small mom and pop gold shops all over the country of India where people take a little bit of their paycheck and buy a little gold, and over time, before you know it, they're holding ounces and ounces of gold. But for years the savers got screwed with the interest rates being so low. I mean, you couldn't save any money and have it pay anything. Or they give me a 0.25% interest on the money you saved. But I'm telling you, to get with it on the gold and silver, what you need to do, though, is buy it as close to spot price as you can. A lot of gold and bullion dealers online, and some of them have these crazy premiums on silver, $7, $8, $9, $10 an ounce premium. That means that the price of your silver would have to go up that much just to break even. And you want to keep your premiums on an ounce of silver, let's say, to $1.59 to $2.59. The Silver Eagles are the real racket. The U.S. Mint had a record year for selling Silver Eagles, and they were going for a pretty penny too. I mean, you buy them on the secondary market for a lot cheaper, but at one point the premiums were nearly $20 an ounce over spot. and it's come down. It's about $7 or $8 an ounce over spot, but still, that's no great deal. I mean, in the old days, you could pick up the an ounce of silver, a silver eagle for like 250, maybe $3 over spot, and that is a fair deal. Beautiful coin. Circulated silver eagles are renowned the world over. I mean, they're recognized in every country on the planet, uh, and it speaks well of the U.S. too. When we went to war in Afghanistan, the generals needed to talk to these tribal leaders and the chiefs, and then meet with them. They'd prearrange it, and, got the meeting approved by the chieftain, and they would go in with a sack full of gold eagles, 1 ounce gold eagles, and they would use this to basically bribe the chief and to gain support for his tribe and backing the American operations. But I mean, some of the stories I read were just pretty incredible. I mean, some of these chiefs received um, thousands of ounces of gold eagles from the American Mint in order to secure their cooperation uh, while we did our military thing over there in Afghanistan. But, I'm talking about squandering money that you don't have and giving away thousands of ounces of, hundreds of pounds of gold to our enemies just to buy their temporary cooperation. And, they're always have their hands out for more. I mean, these guys are devious. They give us that. We're going to get more too because we'll get it out of them. We'll work it out of them. Those damn flag officers and stuff. We went over and met with these tribal chiefs. They got worked over by the tribal chiefs. Hey, get some more gold for me today, uh, Colonel. Oh, okay, Major. Well, this is what we need now. We're gonna need a couple of 100 ounces just to get us through here the next couple of months. We got to buy supplies for our tribe. But when I heard that the U.S. military was using these to bribe the Afghan tribal leaders, it just blew me away. And then, of course, the case of U.S. currency, crisp, uncirculated $100 bills, pallets of them were shipped there. And in fact, when Biden did his withdrawal from Afghanistan, boy, we got to get out of here. And they left all that behind, $80 billion of military hardware and high tech equipment. They even left behind pallets of $100 bills. I mean, what idiot would leave that behind? Come on, man. You know, that guy's a blithering idiot, that Joe Biden. He's the greatest president since George Washington, too. That's what his wife, Dr. Joe, says. Because he's such a great man. He's a manly man. Well, I'd rather have President Trump talking about grabbing some girl's pussy than having the country being run by a pussy. And that's what Biden is, a big puss. Anyway, that's your update for today. Don't be buying all those Chinese stocks. You're all going to crash and burn and fall by the wayside. All right, well, that's it for now. That's the financial report for today. Thanks for tuning in. It's Dr. Matey. Oh, before you leave, you got to hit the like button. You got to hit the subscribe button. And you have to leave me a comment, okay? All right, I love you, little babies. Bye-bye.